I was actually kind of irritated that the dad bod is a dude that's all fucking doughy and shit and got gyno.
Hey, what up, though? And welcome to the Middle-Aged Muscle Man Musician, aka Donald Pump. Please remember to hit subscribe. If you've already subscribed, tap that button. Make sure you're getting your updates. Sorry about the crappy lighting and stuff in here. I got to do it where I can do it and when I can do it. So, this may be the most important video I've done. At least it's the most important supplement video, if you want to call this a supplement. Should be, because it's something that's, for the most part, naturally in your body. What we're talking about today is BPC-157, which is a stable gastric pentadecapeptide. Anyways, it's naturally in your stomach juices, your intestinal juices, and the reason I'm using it is because I had read a lot of compelling evidence that it can repair not only wound tissue, but also tendons and ligaments. And as I've mentioned before, I have just destroyed tendons in my rotator cuff. Well, in both of them, but predominantly in my left. It's terrible. To the point where I have like no mobility going up. I can't do squats, traditional squats, because I can't actually grab the bar behind my back. It's pretty bad. It limits me a lot. It's part of the reason why, even my pectoral development, I need to do all kinds of different angles and higher reps with slightly lower weight and stuff like that, because I can't push what my muscles are capable of pushing. My tendons won't allow me to. It's not worth the chance of getting hurt. Now, I got right into this one just in case there's a lot of information that I have to give that could take up a lot of your time. From what I can tell so far, there's a damn good reason why this is called a body protective compound. I used this before, about halfway into my transformation, and it was working pretty well. When you take it orally, it's not as good. You've got to take either a mass amount of it, or you've just got to break down and do the injections. I'm not a fan of injections. What's crazy is I went to a specialist, and he even suggested I give a try to the injections, because I don't take well to whatever it is, the prednisone. It doesn't do much for me. I've done all the PT stuff. I do it on my own. I'd be paying out of pocket to go to a physical therapist, but I mean, I've got pages and pages printed out, and I've watched a million videos and read books, actual entire sections of books on the best movements for my particular injuries. You get to the point where there's nothing you can do. I can do surgery, but of course that's expensive, and that requires you to be off work, for a long time. And I've heard some horror stories about getting the surgery done. So the BPC-157 obviously can get absorbed in your GI system. So you're not really getting the full benefits from that. However, it is great, if you have ulcers, stuff like that. It truly benefits your digestive system if you have those types of problems, which I do have ulcers. It was like really helping me. It did help my shoulder a little bit. So I'm getting to the point now. Super Smart makes a sublingual. Obviously, with the sublingual, you kind of bypass that digestive tract problem. And, I found as close as I could to the recommended dosage to do what I needed this to do. And right now I'm taking, I believe it's 125 micrograms per pill, I guess you'd call it a lozenge. And I'm taking 3 of those a day. They always say to take it twice, space it out. So I take 3 total, 375 micrograms, which is a little bit more, I believe, than you would usually do with an injection. And man, I'm telling you, after a couple of days, my range of motion is back. I mean, I'm doing exercises I couldn't do before. I couldn't believe it at first. Honestly, I truly couldn't. Just the range of motion. I'm able to sleep much better, because, before, if I accidentally rolled a little bit on my shoulder in my sleep, I was up for hours. And, obviously that also hurts your gains, because you're growing while you're resting. That's one way a supplement works or not, is if you're judging it based on when you're asleep. I don't think that you can have too much of a placebo effect while you're away in dreamland. just to fill people in a little bit, and you can do your own research on this. I'm not suggesting anyone does it. I'm just giving my personal experience with it so far. I've been back on it, taking it the right way. The sublingual, taking the right amount, splitting it up between 2 doses. I've been back on it for a little over a week. And I'll get to the price and stuff like that too. But, they had a study, a collaborative Hungarian study that the results from the different pieces of this range from 2006 to 2018. But, the medical system, the medical community has known about the possible great therapeutic effects of this peptide since, I believe, the late 70s or early 80s, something like that. And you guessed it, it really does cut into other things because, like I said, I don't react good to the steroid. I wouldn't want to go on full-blown GH or on full-blown GH or stronger steroid or anything like that. Over time, that stuff actually breaks tissue in the area down. I don't want to take painkillers. I actually had an issue with them many years ago. I got physically dependent on painkillers. So I can't take ibuprofen and stuff like that, anti-inflammatories, because of my stomach. So anyways, they investigated many uses, which started with gastro stuff. Most of these studies are on rats, but gastro stuff, and then they moved on to like skin and tissue wounds because they said, well, wait a minute, this helps regenerate red blood cells. Why don't we try it for this? And the wounds healed remarkably faster. They moved on to investigating its use with bleeding disorders, osteoporosis, ulcerative colitis. Obviously, that's in the same wheelhouse as what I mentioned before. They even have a COVID study where it's not a full-blown study. They need more investigation, but a bunch of guys got together and said this may work for that too because of certain properties of it. It's basically a protein with 15 amino acids. It occurs naturally in your body. If I'm not mistaken, I think a protein or two is added to it. I mean, God, this in rats, this even had an effect on your serotonergic system. Your serotonin has to do with calmness and stuff like that. Within 40 minutes of being injected with this stuff, the gut-brain connection was in full force, and these rats calmed down. They were happier. And see, that's the danger to, being a competitive force against psychological and neurological drugs. It doesn't have to go directly to the brain. When you take psychological medications, psychiatric medications, and neurological medications, it's obviously altering your brain. It's altering your brain chemicals and your receptors and telling them when to fire, and it adapts to that and so on. So it's actually jumping right over that part of the process. You guys, your gut is basically your nervous system. Your nervous system is rooted in your gut. So it seems that it could be great for things like depression and anxiety as well. I know a lot of supplements claim to be this, and I take some that actually work for some of this stuff. Take from it what you will, but it is a peptide. It is something that we understand structurally. It is something that's in the human body. So it's a little different than, like, say, a root or something like that, where, it's going to be a bit more anecdotal. It's a little harder for us to study. They've used BPC-157 on sponges during surgery on human beings, and it improves the rate of collagen formation. They tried it out on an Achilles heel. It can assist in tendon regenesis after surgery. In rats, they actually injected toxins that mimic Parkinson's and MS, and they had amazing results with it. Essentially got rid of all of the damn symptoms from it. They used it in 2019 on rodents again for spinal cord and tail injuries. Just remarkably successful. But yeah, it stimulates the vascular endothelial growth factor. It triggers the formation of blood vessels and unregulates multiple growth receptors, stimulates the production of fibroblasts, which are vital to the synthesis of collagen. I know this all sounds crazy scientific and stuff like that, but for those of you who understand that kind of stuff, who maybe taken a lot of Derek More Plates, More Dates, there you go. It's been studied in human pain relief. Now, I'll tell you guys this. There's a difference, obviously, between pain relief and healing. This is healing. It's the first time I took pictures the other day, not just as part of my 6-week thing, but just to send to my fiance and say, look, I can flex my left trap. I was not able to flex my left trap in 2 years, since before I started training. I've done no more extensive stretching or anything like that. I have a certain little regimen I do. I've been doing it forever, and it doesn't help much. I'm already getting less, upper and middle back pain because I am employing the proper muscles when I'm doing back and shoulder exercises. Obviously, when this is completely in the wrong place, you're bringing other muscles in. And what I was really hating about is, like, when I do a front double bicep, you'll see the pictures in the 4.5 week and the 6 week videos that I'm putting up in the next couple days. The left never looks as good as the right because I can't flex it properly. I can't get the shoulder back in the position that we all take for granted. It's crazy. I didn't even understand it until I'm looking at the pictures going, what the hell? Like, honestly, from many angles, just like this and everything, like, they look the same. I pride myself on building the left up. I'm all about symmetry. I always have been. The measurements are basically the same. So what it was is the positioning of the shoulder. When I'm telling the anterior delt to flex, the rear is flexing and shit. I mean, seriously, some of you guys may have experienced this before. It's a whole different thing than maybe what we think before we have these problems. You think it's just going to be painful and you're going to have to grunt through it and do some extra stretches and every now and then take a painkiller. But no, man, it makes your damn muscles fire differently. When you start learning what the tendons do and what they're responsible for as far as bringing things to and away from you, that's what we do in this game right here. So I hope it makes sense. I'm glowing about this more than anything else because it's almost like a miracle to me. Now, will it continue to heal like this? Who knows? I hope it does. If it doesn't, I'm still thankful for the fact that I can do certain exercises that I could not do a few weeks ago. I could scoop my daughter up in my arm. I'll tell you what else I could do. I was all of a sudden able to throw a football properly. I mean, seriously, my whole life until I had this injury. Now, I am right-handed, but like I said, both are bad. I couldn't throw a football properly even with my right arm. I was always a guy who could throw. I was winning at field day as a kid and stuff like that. I could throw it a quarter mile or whatever. I prided myself on that. And, it was really sad to me that my youngest son, who's 8, his mom's out here throwing the foam football to him because it's just too much for me. I have to go like sidearm and flick it. And even that is kind of bad. The shoulder's still going into a bad place. All of a sudden, I can throw a damn football again. This is amazing. This is something that I'm actually upset that it's not readily available for people, that they have to go through these online channels. You know what? No, I'm not mad about that. Because if you're going to a damn doctor, you're probably going to pay a hell of a lot more money for it. And you're going to get a different formula of it from, a pharmaceutical company. So scratch that part of it. But as far as price goes, I believe it was $60 from Super Smart. And I'll leave a link below. I have nothing to do with them. Unfortunately, they're not giving me anything for free. They don't know me from a can of paint. But, $60 and it's 60 tablets. I'm taking 3 a day. So it'll last me 20 days for 60. But it's basically $3 a day plus the shipping, which was $10 or whatever. So, I mean, $3.50 a day, we'll say. Round it up to 4. When you have this kind of pain and this kind of inability to do normal things, that's not a lot of money. And if I was paying for physical therapy and stuff like that, obviously it'd be a hell of a lot more. So expect my gains to be better. For all you guys out there, there's a couple of guys that hate on me because I'm not like the biggest guy, who don't comprehend the body transformation thing, who don't bother to look and see, oh, he's got like 2 dozen other videos that explain this. You're going to see me get a whole lot bigger. And the 6-week thing, well, I'll give the numbers in the video coming up. I've already finished the 6 weeks, and the results are damn near what I had aimed for, which anyone I talked to thought they were out of reach. So, you know, like I said, I'll be making programs available to guys. You don't have to be middle-aged. I notice a lot of guys in their 20s, based on the demographics of who watches the videos. They've been checking me out. Obviously, I remember what it's like to be that age. If I take the right combination of supplements, I do feel that age again. And some of the stuff that I know can obviously benefit guys going forward because I learned from it. You know, I got hurt, or I wasted my time, or I wasted my money. So I am going to be doing programs for guys, a limited amount, very reasonable, very thorough, and very personal. I'm taking someone on also as kind of like a guinea pig to show you guys what I can do when I train someone. But maybe more importantly, the merchandise. People are getting a kick out of the can't believe it's not steroids thing. There's also the I'm the new dad bod. I was actually kind of irritated that the dad bod is a dude that's all fucking doughy and shit and got gyno essentially. And, you know, it's kind of sad. So, you know, we're taking it back to the dad bod when damn near everybody had come out of the military way the hell back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we have better equipment, better technology, better supplements, better knowledge, better everything now. And for some reason, everybody sits on their ass and gets fucking fat. So we probably have better access to good food too, as much fake stuff is out there. So the new dad bod, you know, I'll flash it on the screen here. We've got a couple others too. A funny one that was inspired by a female friend of mine that says still fat but working on it. We've got the Donald Pump design because some people like that. And we've got the hashtag Natty Life, which is something I want to start spreading. I just don't have time for a lot of social media right now. It's a necessary evil, I know that. But hopefully you guys who are in this position consider trying out the supplement because it is truly amazing. Maybe you respond to it differently, but I actually read through a lot of studies and stuff like that before I even considered taking this, and I don't really see how anyone wouldn't benefit from it the way that I have. Unless you have some sort of underlying issue that would prevent it from working. But even that seems like it would be rare. Now, the dosing amount may be different. I mean, I saw a lot of guys talking about it online who, well, a handful of guys that tried the sublinguals and other guys who tried orals. Pause. Just like tablets. And they were taking a ton of them. The sublingual, like I said, do that. I wouldn't do the tablets personally. Anywhere where it's mentioned in the science behind these doesn't say it won't work. It just says that it will work, but it takes an excess amount of it. So do what you want. Like I said, I'm not a damn doctor. I'm not anything other than an old guy who's working on getting jacked and sharing all of my experiences with you guys and hoping to save you some money and time and effort and everything. So let me know what your experiences are with it. Definitely give it a try. If you have that type of injury, I would strongly suggest addressing that before you address the test boosting stuff and the muscle building stuff. You'll pack on a lot more muscle when you're able to move properly, trust me. And it seems like, it has the regenerative properties. It seems like I'm healing better in every other way too. Meaning, less soreness, less fatigue, all of that kind of stuff. So, on that note, I say peace.